gonna intro it?
I don't know. Hold on. Okay, wait. I'll be like, I'm pregnant. Surprise! If you haven't heard yet, I'm pregnant.
There's a baby.
There's a baby in there. You can't really tell. We're something flowy today. I feel like flowy is good for me right now.
How does it feel to say that out loud?
Pretty crazy because y'all have known for like a really long time.
So long.
They knew pretty much like when I knew. And honestly, they actually knew before my own husband knew. I literally told them first because they helped me like tell my family and stuff. And yeah.
That was crazy.
It was crazy.
Just my whole life, knowing Ensley, I was like, she's not going to tell us for so long. She's going to keep it to herself and then one day just come in and have a whole baby.
Yeah.
And no, it went completely opposite of any dream I ever had. And we were the first people.
I feel like I have to tell the story of how I told y'all.
So we'll start with that.
So I had this crazy idea in my head. I was like, how am I going to tell them? I don't want to just like come in and be like, hey guys, I'm pregnant. So I was like, okay, so what I was going to do is I was like, oh, I'm going to order one of the pregnancy announcement bandanas because I know in this office, everybody looks at like when orders come in. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it right before we have lunch so that way we can talk about it at lunch. And so I literally do it, okay? I place my order, purchase I'm getting a human bandana, and no one looks at their phone. No one does anything. And I'm like sitting there and I'm like so nervous. I'm like shaking and I'm like, okay, wonder when someone's gonna notice. Nobody notices to the point where I had to say, wow, guys, did anybody see that order that just came in? And no one was even recognizing that I was saying that. Everyone was too busy apparently. And so then Nick was like, what order? And I was like, look at the order. And he was like, why won't you just tell me what the order is? And I was like, you should check your phone. And so finally Dani checked her phone and then she was like, oh my God, are you serious? And then Nick still was like, what's the order? And I was like, if you don't look at your phone. Yeah, so it was like
And then Nick ran out and hugged Ensley. It was so cute.
Yeah, it was really sweet.
And we were all like,
it was crazy, but yeah, everybody at that one time was like not paying attention to orders, and I was like, of course this would fail.
Yeah,
but it was exciting.
It was still really fun.
Yeah, it was.
How did you find out you were pregnant?
So okay, so I started to take like pregnancy tests like probably way earlier than you should. But I had these like little cheapy tests, like little test strips. And I was like, I'm gonna start like taking tests every day just to see if like something pops up. And so I started doing it and then I was like, okay, I feel really silly. Like I should just wait, see, like let Mother Nature take its course. And so I like threw away one of the tests that I took. I didn't even look at it. I was like, I'm not even gonna look at it. And then I went to work that day and then I was like, I don't know. I just had this like feeling and I went home and I was like, I was sitting on the couch and I was like, I'm about to go look at that pregnancy test in the trash can. And I went and I grabbed it out of the trash can and had the slightest line. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant. So that whole day, I knew how I wanted to tell my husband, Paul, because his birthday was near. So I was like, if I am pregnant this month, that's how I'm going to tell him. So then I kept it from him.
I was
like, I'm going to test tomorrow again just to see if like I actually get like a stronger line. And so I tested the next morning. And it was there. And I was like, oh my gosh. So then I was like, okay, I'm for sure telling him for his birthday. Like that Friday, his birthday was that Sunday. And so I was like, I'm going to tell him, give him his birthday presents and tell him that way.
So you only had to wait a few days.
I only had to wait a few days. It was like 2 days technically. And so I was like, I have to go get the ones that say like pregnant because I didn't want him to be like, what is this? Like, men, you men, if you're watching, like you kind of need it in plain writing.
You have to make it, very clear.
And so I went and bought those ones that was like pregnant. So then the next morning, that morning that I was going to tell him, I took that one and it said pregnant. And so that Friday is when I told them. And then later that day, I told my husband and he unwrapped it as like a present.
That is so crazy.
Yeah, he had no idea either too. I mean, obviously we were trying and we had talked about having kids, obviously, but he was not expecting it to happen. And especially like when he was unwrapping his birthday presents, he did not think that one of those presents was a baby. Crazy.
We also have to tell the story of Holly.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, that was pretty wild. And looking back, I'm like, you little
She's sitting right here,
girl. Okay.
Holly is a border collie. Border collies are known for being very smart.
She is really smart. Okay, so this was so wild, and I really wish we had a recording of this to look back on, but we were doing a live. All of us were doing a live. I don't even remember what it was even about. Like what
it was like the four of us like up front, like talking about a launch that was coming.
Yeah, it was like one of the launches. This was back in April.
Yeah.
Because I found out the end of April. Anyways, so we're doing a live.
So she didn't know she was pregnant.
No, I had no idea. It was like super early too, mind you. So it would have been like literally like right when it happened, before a test would have even shown that I was pregnant. And we're doing this live, and Holly like climbs up and was like sniffing my belly, like in my belly area. And
like
she was like
really
up on like, and she
forceful.
would, yes, like
very
she would not
interested.
stop. And I was just like, okay, like we were all just like, I was like, it was so weird. It was so weird. She was just like sniffing my belly, like sitting right there. I was like, this is so weird. This is crazy. And so then I was like, whatever. And then after, Dani was like, you are pregnant. Like,
because
Dani
Holly
was like,
has only ever done this one other time, and that time she did it, that girl was also very early in her pregnancy.
yeah, and you
And
said
so,
that.
yeah, I was like, the last time, the only time Holly has done this, she was pregnant. So I think that you're pregnant. And,
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm not.
I was
I'm
like,
not.
there's no way. I was like, it would be so early. Like, and then that night, that was like on a Friday, I'm pretty sure. Or like the next day.
The Thursday, I think.
Paul and I talked about it, and I was like, yeah, like Holly, like, sniffed my. He's like, oh my gosh, like, you for sure are. And I was
Yeah.
like, there is no way. Mind you, I was eating sushi. I'm just here, live my best. That was the last time I had sushi. It was a sad day for me. But yeah, it was crazy. And so then when that happened, I was like, I can't believe that. Holly was right. Like, she really was.
She really knew. So now Holly, 2 for 2,
Yeah.
is a pregnancy finder outer.
Because after that too, the reason why it kept coming back to me, because that week that I did find out, like, had a positive test, Holly was sniffing my belly more too that week. Since then, she's really not cared much. She was like, I just wanted to discover it for you.
Yeah.
But like when
She
she
told
when she like
you.
was like, it's known and stuff, she was like, I'm done here.
Yeah.
I've done
She
what I
just wanted
needed to
to
do.
spoil the surprise.
She was like, I've told you what you needed to know, and now I'm done, and I'm not interested.
Yeah, I was fully convinced from that moment, but then still, when you told me, I was still shocked, because like, did I really think my dog could do that? I mean, she did it once, but to do
So,
it twice?
Holly's like basically really. I mean, she's really important.
Yeah,
She's an
she has a
important dog.
special job in this
She
world.
does. She has a
Look,
special
she knows.
place.
She's like, now we can play.
Yeah, now she thinks I'm gonna play with her. But that was crazy.
Okay, when are you due?
January 3rd is our due date, which is
Could
wild.
be a New Year's baby.
It could. I mean, there's really no telling. Could be Christmas, could be, which is so wild because Paul always said, like, when we first were like, okay, we're going to start trying to have kids, he was like, let's not try to do it around like Christmas, what, you know, like, and I'm like, well, you know, you can only control so much.
Mhm.
And so I was like, yeah, we probably won't. And then when I found out, I was like, I think we're going to possibly have a Christmas or New Year's baby.
It's crazy.
And so then when they told us our due date at the doctor, he was like, but it'll be fun. It'll be exciting.
So
We're excited.
how far along are you then? Now.
Right now, doing this video, I'm 13 weeks. So I'm towards the end of my first trimester.
And how big is the baby?
The baby today is the size of a lemon.
A lemon is
A
big.
lemon.
She does have a little baby bump, but
I do.
you can't see it in this dress,
No.
but maybe soon you can
Yeah,
see
you'll
it.
slowly start to see it, I feel like. And maybe even people noticed before because we did a fashion show. And my mom pointed out, she's like, I know. But she's like, you did have a bump in that.
Yeah, the one clip that we posted, I was very nervous about. Ensley told me to post it. I was like, I don't think we should, but no one said anything.
No one said anything.
And so I don't know if anyone noticed and just didn't want to say something that could be offensive. I don't know.
I feel like that could have, yeah, like, I mean, I probably wouldn't have said that. I would have been like, oh, she's pregnant. And then you're like,
once
no,
we
she's
announced,
bloated.
yeah,
She's
I would have
gained
thought
a
it to
weight.
myself.
Yeah.
So once we announce, I'm curious to see if someone will say, oh, I thought so or not, but I don't know. But I just can't wait to post it. This video is going to be super fun to post. And the pictures, we're going to take pictures, which by the time this is live, we will have already taken those pictures. Right. But that's going to be so fun. So, do you know the gender?
We do not know the gender. And this is the fun fact. Dani is going to be my gender keeper.
I am the gender keeper, but I
really
don't know right now.
She doesn't know yet. So we just got the blood work done yesterday to find out the gender, and they'll probably give that to us next week. So they'll have like an envelope. So I have to go pick that up. And Paul says he's going to come with me because he doesn't trust me with it by myself.
Wow, you need a bodyguard.
So he's going to be like, I also need to be there. And then, I'm going to give that to Danny. And it's going to be
a whole gender reveal party.
Yeah, and then we're going to do a gender reveal, which is really exciting.
Do you have any guesses right now?
I really don't. I feel like I've heard so many people say, like, girl, so many people say boy, that I'm, like, very conflicted. And especially with it being my first, I'm like, I don't know. I don't have like an intuition.
Based on your symptoms, I would have to say boy, but my intuition says girl. It said girl, so I'm sticking with girl.
A lot of people have said that.
The baby was the size of an olive, and so now I just call her Olive. Even though now she is a lemon, she's grown, I still call her Olive.
I know.
So it's going to be a plot twist if it's not a girl and if Ensley does not name her Olive.
Yeah.
Okay, I said based on your symptoms that it would be a boy. So what kind of symptoms are you experiencing?
Okay. I've kind of had a wide range of symptoms since I first found out. I've had nausea, not like I haven't gotten like sick physically, but I've definitely had nausea. Fatigue has been really bad, like getting super, super tired in the afternoons. I've had headaches too, which has been horrible. A lot of food cravings too, and not just like one food, like all the foods.
Okay, now that you're saying these out loud, it sounds like it could be a girl.
It kind of does, but I've heard that headaches is a boy, so I don't know. It's
I feel like your symptoms were really strong in the beginning, but already they seem a lot better.
Yeah,
but maybe you just don't complain. I don't know.
No, I mean, they definitely have gotten a lot better.
Like, you were really tired for a while, but now I feel like you have a lot more energy.
Yeah, it's definitely perking back up, and they say that your energy gets better in the second trimester, so, and we're almost there, so.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh.
Any other symptoms?
No, nothing crazy. I did, and I've heard that this is a symptom of pregnancy, but when I first found out, I was a little congested, which I heard you can get congested when you're first pregnant. Again, I don't know how accurate and real that is, or if that's just people kind of saying stuff. You never know. But I've heard some wild, like, pregnancy symptoms. So those are probably the most common ones that I've had, though.
What has been the most surprising thing so far?
How fast the time goes.
Yeah.
It's crazy because, I mean, I was just showing you, like, our ultrasound pictures today, and even Paul was saying, like, I can't believe how fast, like, we went in for a 9-week ultrasound and the baby looked like a little peanut.
Yeah.
And then we went in yesterday and I'm 13 weeks and, like, now it's a baby and the baby was, like, moving around and it was crazy. It was wild. Just how fast, like, everything progresses. And I'll just sit there and think, like, oh yeah, it's almost July, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm gonna have a baby in January. That would be 6 months away. I'm like, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
Think, like, it's just wild.
You're gonna have a full baby.
How fast the time goes is what's surprising, and you think you have more time, but you really don't.
What is your current pregnancy craving?
Root beer is a huge...
It's just, like, so random.
So random. I love root beer right now. Like, ever since that day I was like, I love root beer.
Yeah.
And chocolate. I really like chocolate. I've been doing, like, everything covered in chocolate. Like, I've been making chocolate covered strawberries.
And that was an early one. You wanted the Reese's.
I did want the Reese's very early.
Yeah.
But I've had, like, a bunch of different cravings.
Pickles.
Sunflower seeds, that was really random.
That is random.
The salty, I was liking that. I've had a lot.
Yeah, I feel like every day it's something different.
It really is. And for a while it was, but now it's kind of been stagnant. But it might pick back up again. I don't know.
Do you think you'll have more kids in the future?
Definitely one more. Possibly a third. But I really feel like 2 is a good number because I have 2 hands. And then there's Paul and I. There's 2 of us. So I feel like 2 is a good number.
As soon as you're outnumbered.
I've always said I wanted 2 kids.
Yeah. And you came from a family with 2 kids.
With 2, yeah. So
that's how I am. Like, I came from 2. That's all I know. So I think that I have 2.
like 2. Like, I mean, I could see myself maybe being like, if I had 2 boys or 2 girls, being like, I want to try for... But honestly, I feel like I would be like, you know what? That's the cards that were played for me, so that's what it is.
Yeah.
I wanted 2, here's the 2 I got, and that's what it is.
And we for sure know that there's no twins.
There's no twins.
It's one baby.
That was said to me a while back. It was said, there's only one baby in there. And I'm
like, how crazy would it have been if you went and got these pictures done and they were like, actually,
this one must have been hiding. So actually, I had a friend who's a twin, and they were hiding behind each other. So they were from, like, the same, like, sack. And they were hiding behind each other for a while.
Like, how long until the mom knew?
I think she was, like, almost halfway through her pregnancy.
Well, Nick's grandma is a twin, and they didn't have ultrasounds back then. So when her mom gave birth to her, she didn't know. She gave birth.
Okay, there's another one coming.
Yeah, she gave birth, and then she was like, "I'm not done." Like,
that's crazy. I didn't know she was a twin.
Mm-hmm.
Fun fact. Okay.
Yeah, that's a fun fact, and it's crazy to think that like the mom had no idea.
It's crazy to think they didn't have ultrasounds back then. And even talking to my mom, she was like, I never got this many ultrasounds. Like,
yeah.
She was like, I think the first ultrasound she got was when she was 20 weeks, which is halfway through your pregnancy.
Well,
so
that's kind of what I was saying the other day. Was like, I'm surprised you got a second one already, because some of our friends even now they only get like one.
It depends on your doctor's office.
Yeah.
And I also think it depends on what you want to pay for.
Yeah.
Like if your insurance doesn't cover it or whatever, I mean, if you want to pay for it, you can get more. So.
Yeah. I feel like I would want to pay for it.
I feel like it's worth it. Definitely for the first. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I would have been like, can I have another ultrasound? Like, I want to see. Like, I mean, to think going from 9 weeks, that little peanut, and then not seeing until like my anatomy scan, which is 20 weeks. That's a really long time to not see.
Yeah.
And especially right now, like, it's not like you're like, I feel the baby, or, you're like, am I pregnant?
Yeah.
Something in there? That would be crazy.
At what point do you start to feel the baby?
They say 16 to 20 weeks is when most people start to feel anything. But it could be longer. It just depends. I think it's like every pregnancy is different. Every baby's different. My mom said that she didn't feel my brother, and it like freaked her out for a while, but she said it was because she had like a lot of amniotic fluid, and so she couldn't feel as much. So she said she had to get a lot of ultrasounds because they just wanted to make sure like the baby was moving. And I'm like, that's scary.
Yeah.
But she said with me, she felt me all the time kicking.
Did your mom have any symptoms similar to what you're experiencing?
No, we honestly sound like completely opposite people.
Really?
Yeah, which I didn't think it would be. I thought I would be kind of similar to my mom.
Yeah.
But we don't sound, I mean, we're having two completely different, like, caring differently.
At what point did your mom start showing?
She said pretty early on. My mom's short. My mom's like 5'1", 5'2".
Yeah.
So she said, earlier on she was showing. Probably about like when I am too.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're showing early.
Yeah. They say, like, I don't know, it's all about, I mean, your torso length and, like, if you're tall. I'd say I'm, like, average height, so I feel like some shorter people might show, like, I've seen, like, some girls I know show, like, super, super soon, but, yeah, I feel like I am, too, and, I know some of that is bloating, too. Later in the day, it definitely grows, and I'm like, okay, that's not all baby right there. That's some bloating, okay?
Okay, the last question I have, unless you can think of anything else. Do you have any names picked out?
I have a running list going.
Like a long list?
It's not that long, but anything that piques my attention or I go, oh, that could be cute, I have been writing down. Paul and I have said that we're both just like, we can't really seriously think about a name until we know the gender, just because we decided we want to find out the gender. So I feel like once we know that is when we're going to really be throwing out some names. At
what point do you think you'll say, like, this is the baby's name? Like, do you think that you'll say that before the baby's here? Or?
I think we definitely will.
Really?
Like, I think we'll have a full name before the baby's here, for sure.
That's going to be so cool.
Could I possibly change it? Of course, there's always the potential of, like, seeing the baby and being like, this isn't a Jimmy, it's a John. Jimmy Johns. Of course, there's always...
Hey, I think
I need to write that down. That's a good one. I'm just kidding. But clearly I'm thinking about sandwiches. But, like, that's always a possibility. Because my mom, she actually had a different name for me, and then she changed it.
Would you use that name?
Maybe, but probably not. Only because I know someone that uses, like, that name already, and I don't want to...
So
I don't like to be a copycat.
Your name is Ensley, which is a pretty rare name.
It
is. Do you think that you'll pick a rare name?
I want to pick a rare name. So
where did the name Ensley come from?
It was a family, like a last name.
Okay.
Down the line, or like before me, it was like my great-great-grandfather's like last name, and on my mom's side. So that was a family name, and then my brother's name is my mom's maiden name, but it actually also was my dad's first name.
Oh wow.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, that is weird.
My mom's maiden name, but my dad's first name. So my brother's name is Evans. So it's not Evan, it's Evans. So we both have like very unique names, I'd say. So it's hard for me not to want a unique name.
Will you pick a family unique name, or will you just go based on uniqueness?
I don't know. I think I need to I think I need to.
Have you looked at the family tree?
No, I haven't. I'm like, where do you even look at that? I'm like, I just need to, I guess, go talk to some people.
If I want to pick a family name, my mom and my family has the biggest family tree. Like, some of these people have spent their life making the family tree. So
I need to get somebody on that task.
Maybe it's you. Maybe you're the one.
I mean, obviously my mom was able to find my family name, so.
My aunt has a book of like family names too. So that's how she named her daughter Crossin. I think it was also someone's last name. Yeah, I don't know what I would pick for my kids. I feel like naming a kid is so hard.
It's so hard. It really is hard. But
you have time.
We have time, but not as much time as you think. Like I said, it goes by really fast. It's crazy. It's so crazy.
I'm so excited that the news is out. I feel like it's a secret that we've had for so long, and now the world knows.
It's so long.
And soon we'll have to do a gender reveal, and that'll be really fun. But I'm just so excited.
So excited.
Thanks for spilling the beans here with us.
Yes.
And it's the first Tails Up Pup baby.
Can you believe it?
Other than the dogs.
I know.
But yeah, it is crazy. We've never had a baby in the family here.
So wild.
And it's coming January 2024.
2024!